Alright then people, so it's a day later, well maybe 2 days later. I've just got back from work. I'm thinking, alright, I'm going to smash it out a bit more. I've also got some bits as well which I'm going to show you, which are going to help me with this a lot. Okay then, so what did I purchase? In fact, I'll show you right now. Alright then, so what I've done is I have access to my rear speakers. Now this is obviously going to be different depending on your car, but for me, what I had to do was, bear with me, I had these two clips here, one there. Just get like a big screwdriver, or that I used a pry tool actually just to twist it and loosen it. Once those came off, then I came back to here, and what you have to do is just use that pry tool to start prying it. You'll hear the clips, as you can see in here. That's the clip, that's where it joins in, and I've moved it off enough now, so as you can see we have access to the rear speaker, and this is the wiring bit right here. I'll try and zoom in on this. Sorry for such a shaky camera. Yeah, so those are the two wires, positive and negative, for the speakers. I'm going to determine which one is which. After that, I can cut into them. What I plan to do is cut into each wire and then add a wire from each. Now how I plan to do that is by using, so I bought these connectors. Worst comes to worst, if they don't work, I'll just do the classic, twist it together and clamp it using some crimps as well. But I thought these would make it a lot easier. I'll give them a go. I've heard good reviews about them, so should make my life easier. And that way also it's a lot cleaner than, you know, cutting it, twisting it together, tape, all that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut into these two wires. Obviously this will be exactly mirrored on the other side of the car, which I haven't got to yet, but I'm going to do that, cut into these. I've got some wire which is thick enough. I'm not too sure which gauge it is, but it's plenty and it'll be good enough for the speakers. So I've got loads of wire here. Cut into these, connect the wires, and then add a positive and negative coming up to there, which I can then plug into the speakers and test. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut to these wires, do that, test the speakers out and stuff, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so I've had a look at the connectors, and they're actually pretty smart, to be fair. This is like a three-way connector. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut into the wire, connect the two normal wires, and then have this one, which is going to be either the positive or negative, and have that going up. And then that way the factory wires will still be connected together in the circuit, but they'll have the one wire coming up which will power the speakers. So it'll be a similar setup in whichever car you're doing it, but you're definitely going to need this pry tool. So what I did was I find where I could find a gap. There's not so good, but in here there's a bit of a gap, so I just pry it off. You heard that? You can see the clips of somebody coming off. Work your way down. There we are. Well, that came off pretty easily. Then work a way around the car. Obviously by using a plastic one, you don't damage the stuff in your car. Don't be impatient and just use a screwdriver. It's not worth it. Even on an old car like this, you know, it's not worth it. There we are, gave that a pop. And you see, we already have access for the speakers there. I'm just going to pop off a few more along the top. It's the same principle. Follow the lines around, it will pop off. Make sure to advise keeping hold of any clips or any connectors. You want it to go back just as it did. You do not want it rattling. That will annoy you more than having good speakers. So yeah, I'm going to do that and I'll get back to you guys. Well, I ended up taking up the whole panel, so I thought, why not? So yeah, it came up pretty easily. Now don't do what I did. I managed to keep pretty much them all except for one or two, which I'm going to look for and I'm going to find, because at least find one of them. So often this will happen on things like this, like you take it apart for the first time and something comes off, but you know, it's part of the job. I definitely spend a few minutes trying to find it and stuff like that, but if you can't, then it's what it is. But you know, it's definitely just want to work as clean as possible. You know, it's for your car. It's you know, the end result is in your hands. So obviously the wires here again, so I'm going to cut into this one, connect the three-way thing, so connect these wires together, and there'll be a spare socket where I'm going to run up the wire. So I'm just going to get on with it and I'll be back. So I've just finished cutting and stripping the wires. Please, if you're doing this, use a pair of wire strippers. If you don't have some, just go and buy a pair that are cheap. These will change your life. You can use it for your car, house, anything. It makes your life a lot easier, especially when this is a factory wire and we don't want to try and use scissors and end up cutting some of the copper off. So I'm going to use those little clips, connect the greens together in one, and then I'm going to add a wire coming from the other one. I'm going to do the same with the blue, and then I'll be back after that. Obviously I'm going to do this for both sides, so I'll see you then. Alright then, so as you can see, I've now connected these wires. So these are all back in circuit now. Blue with the blues, green with the greens. But I have a spare connection now, so that extra wire I need from each for the speakers, all I need to do is plug them into there. Easy as that. Alright then, I am back. So it's all done, the wiring side of things. So as you can see, back where I was before with these boxes, as you can see, I have connected the original harness back together, and I've now added in my wires, which as you can see plugs into there, and I now have, let me zoom back out, 2 wires just like that. Also done the same on the other side, so I now have the wire, whatever that is, there. So all I need to do now is plug it into the speakers and give them a test.